everyone, welcome to America Gossip News, where curiosity meets pure entertainment. From jaw-dropping celebrity scandals to the shocking twists in your favorite shows like The Bold and the Beautiful, we serve you fresh, honest, and binge content every single week. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and join our growing gossip family, because your next obsession starts right here. Picture this: a flawless woman in designer heels, standing alone on the cliffs of Malibu, wind in her hair, tears in her eyes, and a one-way ticket clutched in her trembling hand. This isn't just another soap plot twist. This is Steffy Forrester, and something is deeply wrong. She's walking away from her life, her family, her marriage, her legacy. But why? Is it the decades-long drama with Finn, the lingering emotional ghosts of Liam, Sheila Carter's deadly presence creeping back into her world again? Those are the obvious answers, the ones everyone is whispering. But the real truth is darker, deeper, and more dangerous than anyone could have predicted. It all started quietly. Steffy, once the fiery, confident powerhouse of Forrester Creations, began acting different, not in the loud, dramatic way soap fans are used to, but in the subtle, unsettling manner of a woman carrying a secret that's slowly killing her inside. Her glances became distant. Her work at Forrester was distracted. She left meetings early, missed calls, ignored texts. At first, Ridge assumed it was stress. Who could blame her? Between managing the children, keeping her marriage stable, dealing with the never-ending Logan Forrester fashion tug-of-war, and the looming shadow of Sheila, Steffy had more than enough on her plate. But her silence grew into full emotional withdrawal, and people started to notice. Then came the photos. Unmarked envelopes began appearing at her home. No return address, no note, just photos. Grainy, zoomed-in shots of Finn, in places he claimed he hadn't been: a prison parking lot, a familiar restaurant once frequented by Sheila Carter, a hotel lobby in downtown LA late at night. Each envelope sent her further into a spiral. Finn denied everything. Of course he did. He insisted it was a setup, that someone was targeting him, targeting them. But the doubt had already wormed its way into Steffy's heart. And once trust cracks in a marriage like there's one that already survived a resurrection, a kidnapping, and a psycho mother-in-law, there's rarely any going back. Behind closed doors, the tension was unbearable. Finn, still trying to be the perfect husband and father, became more forceful. He wasn't just defensive anymore, he was angry. And that frightened Steffy more than the photos. For the first time, she wondered if the man she rebuilt her life with might be hiding something far worse than just secret meetings. Then came Taylor. Her mother returned suddenly from Europe, her arms full of love but her eyes full of fear. She told Steffy she had heard things, hints, whispers in Monte Carlo, that a betrayal was brewing at Forrester. Not from an outsider, but from inside the family. And that Ridge had quietly launched an internal investigation to find out who was leaking private documents to Spencer Publications. Steffy laughed it off at first, but when Taylor mentioned that her name had come up in the inquiry, the laughter died. She hadn't done anything wrong, but someone was making it look like she had more than one document had been leaked. Traced back to her login credentials, her emails, her access, she knew then. Someone was framing her, but who? That question kept her awake for nights. She ran through every possibility in her mind. Thomas, too erratic. Brooke, too loud. Donna, please. But then a name began to echo in her mind. One she hadn't considered dangerous before, one who had quietly slipped under the radar for years. Hope. It made too much sense. Hope, the sweetheart of the Forrester-Logan war. The peacekeeper, the stable one. But recently, she had changed. Ever since the debacle with Thomas, ever since Liam walked away, something had hardened inside Hope. And now, with Steffy still in a position of power and influence, Hope had everything to gain and Steffy had everything to lose. If Hope was behind the setup, Steffy needed proof. But proof was exactly what she couldn't get. Every digital trail led back to her. Every document had her fingerprints. Every move she made was being shadowed by suspicion. Even Ridge began keeping her at a distance, no longer inviting her to high-level meetings. Eric stopped confiding in her. And worst of all, Finn stopped defending her. There was one night that changed everything. She walked into the Cliff House and found Finn on a video call. He shut his laptop the second she entered, too fast. He smiled too hard. His voice was too calm. And on the screen, just before it vanished, she saw a red streak of hair. Sheila. No, it couldn't be. But she couldn't shake it. That night, she lay awake next to a man she no longer recognized, holding her breath, listening to him breathe, wondering who he really was. The next morning, she made a decision. She called Liam. It had been months since they'd really spoken, not just about the kids or the schedules, but truly spoken. He heard the crack in her voice immediately and came to her in a heartbeat. On the cliffs of Malibu, with the waves crashing below and the sun setting in gold, Steffy told him everything. The photos, the suspicion, the feeling of isolation, the fear that someone close, maybe even Finn, was working against her. Liam didn't say much, he just listened. And then he hugged her. For the first time in years, she let herself cry in his arms. She gave him a sealed envelope. If anything happens to me, she said, give this to Ridge. He nodded, even though he didn't understand. She kissed him on the cheek, whispered thank you, and walked away. She didn't go home. She didn't tell her kids goodbye. She didn't even tell Taylor. The next morning, her house was empty. Her phone disconnected. Her car parked at the airport. But no flight record under her name. It was as if she vanished. Speculation exploded. Some said she fled to Aspen. Others believed she boarded a private jet to Monaco. A few even theorized that she went off-grid with FBI protection to build a case against Sheila. But behind the scenes, chaos reigned. Forrester Creations scrambled to control the PR disaster. Ridge demanded answers. Finn was inconsolable, or so he claimed. Hope played the concerned stepsister-in-law on camera. But behind closed doors, she celebrated the power vacuum. And then the envelope reached Ridge. Whatever was inside that envelope changed him. He shut down the internal investigation immediately. He fired the IT security lead who tracked Steffi's credentials. He launched an inquiry into Spencer Publications. And most surprisingly, he confronted Bill not with rage, but with a quiet, dangerous warning. Stay away from my daughter, or I'll bury you. Bill said he had no idea what Ridge was talking about. But the panic in his eyes told a different story. Back at Forrester, Taylor took control. She appointed Thomas interim co-CEO, a move that shocked everyone. Brooke objected. Hope objected louder. But Thomas accepted, not for power, not for legacy, but to protect the family name while Steffi was gone. Days turned into weeks. Rumors swirled. Some fans spotted a woman who looked like Jacqueline McNiss would in Paris. Others said she was in hiding because of threats from a rogue Sheila sympathizer group. The wilder theories claimed she was working undercover with the FBI, that everything had been staged for a dramatic return. And maybe that's not far from the truth, because Steffi isn't the type to run, not forever. She's the type to retreat, rebuild, and return. And when she does, it won't be as the woman who left in fear. She'll come back as the woman who knows who tried to destroy her, and she'll have the power to take them all down. When that day comes, Finn will have to answer. Hope will have to explain. And Sheila, if she's still out there, will finally face a daughter-in-law who isn't afraid of her anymore. Until then, silence. No word, no updates, no trail. But one thing is certain. Steffi Forrester isn't gone. She's just waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. And when that moment comes, everything in Los Angeles will change forever.